Alright, let's turn it up, good. I'm a living sunset, diamonds in my bones. Put me to the test, but my will is stone. I believe in a better way. Peace out of your hands and clear your eyes. You gotta ride me to your dreams and don't be denied. I believe in a better way. Oh, I believe in a better way. What good is a man who won't take a stand? What good is a city with no better plan? I believe in a better way. Oh, I believe in a better way. Reality is sharp because it feels like night. And everyone I know is in the fight of their life. I believe in a better way. Oh, I believe in a better way. Oh, I believe in a better way. Wow. So many artists that I respect and look up to are here tonight. It's a privilege to have you here. Tonight's a monumental night in our neighborhood. Tonight, we showed up. I'm a living sunset, got diamonds in my bones. Put me to the test, but my will is stone. I believe in a better way. Oh, I believe in a better way. People here tonight. On behalf of SoulFood and our tribe here, we want to welcome you. On behalf of the town, I'd like to introduce the next person to come up and welcome us. A local boy, just like myself, born and raised here in our town, and dreamed to become the mayor. I'd like to welcome up to the stage Mr. John Mercione to the stage. Yeah!
Good evening and welcome. Thank you all for coming. As some of you might know from coming to go to attend a public meeting, one of the first items on the agenda is items from the audience. And everyone gets 4 minutes to come and talk to the council about what they feel is important. And all the boards and commissions have this opportunity. But the Arts Commission, as usual, has taken it one step further. And items from the audience is a 2-hour event here tonight with all kinds of discussion, performance, and right here at SoulFood Books, which is fast becoming the political epicenter of Redmond. What do I mean by that? Well, over to my right here is Councilmember-elect Tom Flynn, former chair of the Arts Commission. When he is seated at the dais in January, on his right, maybe on his left, I don't know. Will be John Stillen, former commissioner, Arts Commissioner, former chair of the Arts Commission. So who's chair of the Arts Commission right here? Clint.
Hi.
Do you hear me calling? Well, that's good. I want to just take, besides welcoming you, I want to take 1 minute to tie how the Arts Commission fits into the greater city. Last night I was before a group of citizens who are very interested in disaster management planning, and we have these CERT volunteers and they train, and here I am tonight, and you might say, well, wow, what a big difference, because they're interested in public safety and you're interested in culture and art. But what we're all interested in is building a better community. And it's making the connections that make us a stronger community. We're all like a piece of thread. And if we're by ourselves, we blow in the wind. But if we come together, we can weave a tapestry that makes a great Redmond. And that's what I'm here for, is to help bring the thread together. The Arts Commission is bringing the threads together. And we have a safe community. We have a culturally interesting community. We have a place that you want to live your whole life. We're building housing, transportation choices, and now arts choices. So you can stay here, make the choices, and whether you're out of college and you just got a job, you're an empty nester like me, my kids just went to college, or you're retired and you want to do something for the community. We want to give you the choices so you stay in Redmond. And the Arts Commission is one way of giving you choices. So you want to stay in Redmond and make it a great community. So the theme, or else the mission statement of the Arts Commission is a community inspired and connected by arts and culture. We're a community inspired and connected by culture and arts, by the various transactions, various connections we make out there. And I want to thank you all for making Redmond a vibrant place, a place with a soul, a place that people want to come to, and a place that people want to stay. Thank you for coming out tonight. Thanks, Jeff.
Like
All of the place.
On behalf of we are two. Unmute two. 2 and 3. What do you think, May? Okay, so May and I would like to bring up the rest of the Arts Commissioners. Will you guys please make your way to the stage? Come on up and we'll introduce everybody one at a time. For the last 2 years, I've served as the chairman of the Arts Commission. And for 2 years before then, as a member. It's a privilege to serve with this incredible group of people. A diverse group of people who can speak passionately together, have strong opinions, push and pull through conversation and debate, all representing the heart of the town. And at the end of our day, agree on how to move forward with all views being heard. So I'd like to be able to start and maybe start with you down there. And
thanks, Clint. We're so excited to be here. My name is Jessica Lambert. I'm a Redmond Arts Commissioner. I'm an artist and an advocate for the arts. Last year, so committed to this that I started a nonprofit organization for the arts called VALA East Side, Venues for Artists in the Local Area. And much like the Redmond Arts Commission, we're inspired, and our vision is to connect artists to artists, artists to the community, and the community to art. So come look for us out there, and let's make some art happen in this community.
Jessica Lambert, everyone.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Pat Pattabhiraman. I am on the Arts Commission. I've been a commissioner for about a year or so. And I live within a couple of blocks of here. And SoulFood is sort of like a home away from home for me. And City Hall is within a shouting distance of where I live. And we've been, my wife, Lata, who's sitting here, she was on the Arts Commission for about 6 years prior to me joining, so we have a spousal dynasty going on. So dispose of them. And I started out getting involved in the community by being a handyman for the kind of great things that she was up to on the Arts Commission, and somehow it was kind of inevitable that I carried on when she sort of retired. So I love being on the Arts Commission, and being a resident of Redmond, I have seen how the Arts Commission, you know, when she was on the commission, helped connect the community through arts events and people interested in arts, sharing a common passion for arts and culture and everything. And now I'm happy to be on the giving end to facilitate and amplify those missions and aspirations of the commission. And Redmond is a wonderful city, and the citizens are one heck of a first-class, wonderful people, and I love serving them.
Hi there, my name is Rob Levitt. I'm Vice Chair of the Arts Commission, and I help artists make great art here in Redmond. That is the reason I'm on the Arts Commission, and I really would like to thank you for coming out tonight. This is a participatory event tonight, so to make sure that we're on the right page and all agreeing, we're going to do a little participation. And you have to play along, right? Day-o! Day-o! Daylight's come and we want to go home. Day-o! We want to go home. Nice.
I'm Seema Chalzadi, and I've been on Arts Commission for almost 3 years now. I live in Redmond. I am bringing up my children and family in Redmond, and I never think of any other city than Redmond. And I've lived many places, starting with Bombay to begin with, and have landed all the way northwest of the world, you can say. And this is a wonderful place. I get opportunity to work with Arts Commission, and this is my time to serve community, children, and the city. I have had a great chance and great opportunity to work with very renowned landscape architects and architects in the US and in India and some other places. And I'm bringing that experience, that feeling with me today on the Arts Commission. And see Arts Commission building, health, city, some inspiring places where art and architecture and landscape architecture sort of integrate together, and we create places for the people. And without people, I don't think any place means anything to anybody. And people are wonderful over here. They just need a place to congregate and get together. So I love working on Arts Commission, and I love the city. I wanted to share something with everybody, that everyone who has visited me so far in Redmond, I know they have visited all over, US, Europe, every place, and the photos that they show to everybody is they're always from Redmond. This is just the best city they've ever, and they have great memories of Redmond and just this area. So it must be something within people and places. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Bev Joliet, and I've been on the Arts Commission, I think, now for 2 years. When I moved to Redmond, Redmond had one stoplight. Really? And a feed store. Yeah. And a train. Yeah. And I've watched the community grow and expand and become international. And I think we want to maintain that small town feel that we had when I moved here, and it had one stoplight. But we have so much opportunity now to bring an arts community really into our city and really integrate it into everything we do. My passion for art really started with arts in the schools and working with children, young and through high school. And I want to continue on the Arts Commission to be able to expand those arts opportunities for all of our residents and to make Redmond a place where people come because we have art. So thank you.
Hello, I'm Amy Mays, and I'm a student at Cornish College of the Arts, a student of the world. I'm relatively new to the Arts Commission, and my vision, and the reason reason I joined was I thought everyone should have the ability to make art and see art and participate, no matter if they're rich or poor, young or old, and Redmond seems like a great place where we can make that happen. So, thank you.
Hello, good evening. My name is Laura Lockwood. I snuck out for a second because my 1-year-old has some serious separation anxiety, so I just ran home real quick and I'm back. So I just moved here last summer and I have 3 boys, and I joined the Arts Commission because I love the arts bringing community together, and that's very important to me, and it's important for me to raise my boys in that environment as well. So I'm just delighted to be here and delighted to see so many people, and I actually know a couple of people. I'm so excited. So enjoy.
Thank you. A round of applause for that. As part of the Arts Commission, one of the things we've done over the last few months is bring on board a new arts coordinator. And I'd like to introduce him here to you guys tonight. He's no stranger to SoulFood. We have a Monday morning meeting here where we get to connect and be at the beat of the heart of the community. Please welcome Joshua French to the stage.
Hello everyone, my name is Joshua Heim, and for the last 6 months I have been your arts administrator. Thank you. People ask me why I was dressed up and I have my suit on today, but because I was meeting all of my bosses. And sincerely, that's what I need. You pay taxes in this community, you live in this community, you care about this community, and the only way that I have the privilege to work with the 8 commissioners who you just met is because of you. So thank you. Like tonight, and tonight is the 2nd Thursday of the month of November, I get to work with the Arts Commission. And that is a privilege, and that is a pleasure. And as you can imagine, it's 2 hours, actually it's mostly like 2.5 hours of vibrant conversation, of great ideas, and sometimes hard decisions about how do we use scarce resources to impact this community in the way in which you want us to impact the community. So, whereas typically on the 2nd Thursday of the month, these 8 people, guided by myself and our arts coordinator, Marianne Johnson, who's at the large table, we talk about these issues, and hopefully we get to a decision. But tonight, we're all going to sit back, and we want to hear from you. Tonight is around items from the audience. And so before we really launch in, we just wanted to point out a couple of things. We do have some activities, being artists as we are. If you're at a table, you'll notice that there is butcher paper there, and some pens, and a prompt. And that prompt asks a really simple question. What would it take for you to feel inspired by the art and culture in this community? As our mayor has introduced, the vision of the Arts Commission is a community inspired by art and culture. And so as you can imagine, as we, the Arts Commission, staffed by us, like me and Craig Larson, the director of the Parks Department, who unfortunately couldn't be here tonight.
We have our own Craig Larson here too.
Doppelganger.
Yes.
So that's our vision, that's what we're working towards. Now, me being the planner that I am, first thing I stepped in is I asked, well, what does that mean? What does it mean to have a community inspired by art and culture? So on the tables is some paper, there are some pens. Please draw or write what that means. Because until you tell us what that means, we're going to have this one vision for a very long time. And I imagine with all of the competing visions out here in the audience tonight, and in the rest of the community, all those people who have jobs, who have families, and who had to attend to them tonight, there are lots of visions. We want to get to all of them. So tonight, we're here to listen to what those are. So please share.
Yeah. Round of applause for Joshua. I know what it takes to bring artists together. We do that every weekend here. I knew that if we got together and had a room full of artists and didn't have one artist to come up and kind of spike the punch a little bit, then we might be sitting here kind of shy. So I brought up a fellow friend artist, Mr. Kamal Siegel, to talk a little bit about what he's doing as an artist and talk a little bit about nurturing the community artistically that he's been leading. Kamal's going to do a talk and a small slideshow, and then we're going to go throughout the crowd. Since it's packed here tonight, we'll bring the microphones to you and hear from everyone here tonight that wants to speak into the microphone. Who you are, what you do, and how do you vision the town. There's ways of doing it on the tables. There's ways of signing up on the list up here. There's also taken to the microphone. So that's what tonight is. Tonight the first person on the microphone is Mr. Kamal. Welcome.
Well, thanks, Clint. And thank you, SoulFood Books, for hosting this great event, which I hear was something that came up as an idea about 5 years ago, right? Yeah. And it's about time. Yeah. This take place.
Should we do it? Yeah.
That's okay, we will hold it. I have to go.
Oh, yeah, totally.
And thank you to the city of Redmond for putting this together at the Redmond Arts Commission. It wouldn't have happened without you guys. I was talking to a couple of the arts commissioners earlier today about this thing that's been bugging me about the relationship between creativity and art and the city. And any city, really, not the city of Redmond. I served a bit as a Redmond Arts Commissioner a while back with Clint, and there are all these processes that you have to go through in a city in order for anything to take place, which is good. It's called democracy, right? And art is most of the time anything but democratic. It's very spontaneous. You know, as an artist, you have an idea or an inclination and an impulse, and sometimes when you decide to act on these emotions and create something that expresses what you're feeling, you can create something that's really magical. It's very difficult for the city to find a way of channeling those kinds of, that impulsive nature of art. And one of the arts commissioners brought up a good point and said, well, what the city can do is create the platform for that to take place, which is exactly what this is. And so that's part of what I'm really excited about this event. And hopefully what comes out of this is, you know, that energy manifested in some way. So there's this member of the city council once asked me, so why is art important? And I think that question probably comes up a lot from someone who may not really be an artist, right? And why should we devote money to the arts? Why is it that important? And I think if that question ever, I'll explain the answer I gave, but one way that you might consider tackling how to answer that question is perhaps by following up with, well, how do you like the shoes you're wearing? Are they useful to you? And chances are the answer is going to be yes. Well, it turns out there's a whole team of artists that was devoted just to designing the shoes you're wearing right now. And the same applies to the clothes that you're wearing. How important is the seat, the chair that you're sitting on right now when you're asking me this question? Well, it's very important. It allows me to last through these never-ending meetings. Well, that was designed by an artist. And not only one artist, but many artists, and artists from different disciplines. It probably began with pencil and paper, an outline, a floor plan. What about this building? One of the follow-up questions was, what's your one of the most beautiful works of art in Redmond? And I said, well, the City Hall is majestic. It's beautiful. And that was we were in the council chambers at the time. So I think what happens is art is actually all around us constantly and essential to everything that we're doing. So essential, in fact, that I think we just sort of forget and take it for granted. And it's important, I think, to remind ourselves that it is there, that it is important, that we wouldn't really be able to operate without it. And not that it's this extra icing on the cake, that maybe if we get all the other stuff taken care of, then maybe we can focus on art. So it's truly essential. And I know this from personal experience, especially since that's what I do as a career. I'm an artist professionally. I run a company called Digital Double. You may have driven by it. It's on Berkeley Parkway. And it's actually walking distance from here. So as you can imagine, I come here pretty often. It's a small company. There's about 6 of us there. We grow and shrink depending on the demand. And we do work for a variety of clients, including Microsoft, Panasonic, Starbucks. We just did something for Starbucks. And we do a variety of things, ranging from anything that has to do with multimedia design, graphic design, animation, especially computer 3D animation. And thought I'd show you just some quick samples. Some of this stuff is probably going to look very familiar, especially if you like playing video games. Most of this stuff is actually not part of the company's portfolio, the things that I've done. And this is the stuff that I've been exploring lately, which is abstract digital art. But I've sort of intermixed some other designs in here as well. And that's my family. That's my wife Mariah, my son Lyndon, and daughter Elena. And we also live here in Redmond. And the things that we're passionate about as a company have to do with bringing different disciplines of art together to create new forms of art. One example of this was a performance piece called Dancing with Life, where a choreographer and dancer, Melissa Farrar, designed a dance between 2 people and performed it live, with the second person being a digital figure that was projected in front of her. It was kind of a large figure, so those are just the legs. And the way we pulled off the effect was to put a scrim in front of her and put the lights behind the scrim so we could see her as well as the digital figure that was in front of her. And so we brought dance and animation together, which was very exciting. Another project we worked on was called Digital Graffiti, which allows anybody from any age to pick up anything that emits light, like a glow stick or a cell phone, and wave it up at the wall and paint digitally on the wall through a projector. And these are some examples of the pieces that came out of the last Digital Arts Festival, which is where we featured the work. And so here the idea was to create a platform by which, through collaboration, you could create new works of art. And one of the discoveries that people made in the process was that if you took a picture of yourself with a flash, because it illuminated the entire room for a split second, that became permanently captured in the scene. And that's how they pulled those effects off. A lot of exciting, cool stuff. This is sort of what I'm most excited and passionate about, and is why I started this company, Digital Double. I was especially excited when a hero of mine and someone who had been a mentor for many years but not really aware of it, came up to me and expressed this really cool idea for a project that we could do in Redmond. His name is Redmond, and you may have heard of him. How many of you have seen Lord of the Rings? Okay. Do you guys remember the character Gollum, Lord of the Rings? Well, he was the one who created the face of Gollum. I don't know if you remember how realistic and believable that creature was. And he came up to me and he said, gosh, it would be really cool if we could do this. I'm not going to spoil it for you because he's actually here. I'm going to ask him to come up and kind of explain it. Bay had been a mentor of mine for many years because he's been a leader in the field that I work in. And so in the industry, we were very familiar with his work, and we would find him online, see the work that he would do, we would follow him, and he pushed through a lot of innovations in the craft of 3D art. And I had the good fortune of meeting him last year for the Digital Arts Festival where he came, and he was our keynote speaker. And it was a tremendous honor and blessing for me to be involved with that. And I didn't know he was going to be here tonight until 10 minutes ago. So I thought I'd give him the opportunity to come up here, if that's okay. Absolutely. And share, just, he could be the one to start off sort of the brainstorming.
Well, sounds perfect. If he knows how to draw, that sounds good.
Yeah. Bay, you ready?
Yeah. Come on up. Yeah.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. I guess I'll stand up here now. Thank you, Chad. No, without my computer on. Hi, I'm Bay. Thanks for coming on. I do a lot of different things. I'm one of those guys who, I program and I sculpt and I draw, animate, and film, and video games, and hats. I do all sorts of weird things. I tend to rant a lot about crazy ideas. One of them, come on, let's not be up on stage now talking about, was I thought the Statue of Liberty was an incredible piece of art, and the way that it was built was pretty amazing. And I'm a sculptor. In a very weird sense, I sculpt the moving figure. So if you have chisels and hammers and you're working on marble, and then it chases you across the room and you shoot at it with a rocket, that's my job. So how does your artwork run around and move? And so I know a lot about shape and form and animation and all that stuff, but there are a lot of people who are within 20 miles of this spot who are entertaining hundreds of millions of people in the world. And I don't want to sound like a pop culture artist guy, but that's what we do. And there isn't really a physical version of this 3D world that we participate in. You go online, you play video games, you go to the theater, and you see movie special effects like Lord of the Rings or Avatar, King Kong, and the rest of it. And all that stuff is built on a computer, usually running an operating system built very close to here, usually running on computers that are designed using APIs that are built very close to here. And the people who actually are the artists who make those things also work within that 20-mile radius of where I'm standing. And if you go out into the world, you have no idea that that's actually what's happening here at the epicenter of computer entertainment. And so this crazy idea that I had was, what if we took all the steel or took all the material we could find and make something big enough to put on a map? I know the Space Needle is pretty cool, and it's very futuristic, but there's a future that we are participating in that doesn't get physically represented often. You see it in movie theaters, and you see it in games, and you see it in toys, and you see it in the manufacturing of the cars when they're driving around with horrible mirror lines intersecting with the wheel well. But you don't really see it as an expression of digital art and of the community that's here. And there are some incredible sculptors and art animators and concept artists who live here. And we make this our home. I mean, we're a half an hour from the ski slope, we're a half an hour from downtown, we're a half an hour from the International Airport. We have this incredible place that we live in. And I thought it would be really interesting for people to come to visit and see us. I work at Valve right now. And so basically I talk to a lot of folks, and I know a lot of people. I know a lot of artists, I know a lot of students, I know a lot of people.
And for me, I'm kind of looking at it going, you know, it wouldn't be impossible to build something that when you stood in front of it, you were, okay, there's some people around here who made that. Yeah. And so I just thought I would get up here on stage and come on encouragement and basically just tell you, like, I don't have a lot of time, I'm a very busy guy, but every single person that I tell this idea to about making a mark physically for the digital arts community, they all go, oh yeah, that would be awesome. and these are people who get paid a lot of money to entertain the world, usually from nearby. And I think that they would enjoy, and their families would enjoy, and their kids would enjoy, and the future generations would enjoy something so big it would be difficult to take down. Because I can't touch my sculptures. Gall is burned into my eyes, but I've never punched it. And so that aspect of it would be kind of interesting for me. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with how the Statue of Liberty was built, but there's a giant steel understructure, and then they took a bunch of wood, banged it together in shape based on the sculpt, and then they used copper plating and rivets and just wound their way up to the top and then sanded it all down. And I think it would be kind of fun to take a bunch of these computer guys and have a contest of some kind and come up with a piece of sculpture that sort of represented the culture and the community of people who think in a very different way about how to skip lighting down class and make art. And I think it would be really cool to use some of the computer-aided design and forward simulation-driven stuff to figure out how to make the sculpture be something that would be impossible to make if this weren't any other time. I just wanted to, like, here, lob that out there and then talk.
Let's give a round of applause for Dave. Since we're on the topic of digital arts, are there digital artists out there? Are there digital artists out there that would like to say something? Is there a digital artist represented here tonight? I mean, I know they're the shy ones, but okay. Well then, yes, thank you.
My name is Chip Wilson. I'm a producer of all kinds of art, and I'm former co-general partner of the Paramount Theater. And why I'm here is because essentially the same thing's brewing in a bunch of my friends' heads. Yeah. So what's really cool is all of you guys seem to have the same mindset. So I just want to encourage it, and I think it's about time.
Thank you, sir. Jamie, can you talk a little bit about the digital arts?
Okay. Hi. This is a lot of people. My name is Jamie. I used to go to DigiTen, right on the street, graduated 3 years ago, Bachelor of Arts. I work in the video game industry. My first game was by Sony. It's Resistance, Retribution. Mainly I do 3D environments, modeling, sculpting. And what they were saying is totally true. I cannot physically touch the things that I make. So sometimes I try to buy little things that remind me of things that I made. Like I bought a little tiny train after I modeled one. I mean, after I stared at that thing for 5 weeks, I had to have one that I could actually touch and be like, look, I made this. Currently, I am working on the new Counter-Strike, which is done by Valve, and Hidden Path, and Turtle Rock. So we haven't shipped yet, but that's what I've been doing. Besides that, Photoshop, working on a comic book, things like that. So keep myself busy.
On the subject of digital arts, are there more digital artists out here tonight? Any other digital artists? Are there any other artists out here tonight? Yeah, that's right. So, while the fire's cooking, let's get to as many people as we can, and we'll kind of keep it as short and sweet as we can. We'll get to as many different artists. Is there an artist that would like to say who they are? Here we go.
Hi, I'm April Moon, and I'm a musician, singer, composer, performer, and I'll be actually performing here on this stage next Friday night. And I hope you'll all come. But leave the kids with a sitter. But as far as what I want for Redmond, I just want to share a small story with you about a year and a half, 2 years ago, a friend of mine called me up and said, you know, I'm working with this theater in Milltown, and we have dark nights, and would you like to have this space to do something with? And I hadn't thought about really doing something on a stage. I've been a singer and with a band and playing in clubs like SoulFood Books, but I was inspired by the existence of that space to write a show, which ran for 9 months last year in Seattle. And it's changed my life. Just having someone come up and say, here's a space that you can come and do whatever you want with. And inspired me to write this show, and now I'm writing my second show. I don't know where it's going to be, but it's being written right here at SoulFood Books in the afternoons. I sit on my laptop and write it. To have, what I would love to see in Redmond is for people to have that kind of opportunity, to have places and spaces and opportunities, small grants, just things that come your way and hit you in the face and go, well, here's something, what do I want to do with that? What am I going to be inspired to create because I have an opportunity that I didn't realize existed before? And if we can do that, I think it would be fantastic.
Miss Eva Moon, everyone. Yeah, that's her.
Hi, I'm Cece Levitt. I'm Rob's wife, and I'm going to coattail on exactly what you said about finding a space for artists. I'm a musician, singer, performer, also art teacher. I have a voice studio at my home. I started a choir at our school, Horseman Elementary, and we have a couple other representatives here from Horseman. Because they continue to cut art funding, as you know, and they cut the whole program, and I felt really passionate about that children who maybe haven't had that opportunity should have that chance. So another mom and I went out and tried to start this choir, and it got crazy, went all the way to the district lawyer just to start this little choir. And I thought, gosh, what if there was a space that we could do something like that with children to inspire them, because that's where they start. So we were lucky enough to finally get it off the ground. There were a lot of hoops we had to jump through. And it's been really great, but we have been looking for opportunities to find space for them. Even with my voice studio right now, I teach out of my home. My husband and I keep talking about it. There was a place that artists, musicians could go, rent space, create art, whether it's visual artists, performing artists, musicians, where you could just do your craft, rent some space. People could come in as visual artists, maybe create art, and people could watch you, maybe they could take classes. And there's so many incredible people I've met in this community, and we need a place. There's a couple spaces. SoulFood is an awesome space for that. But I really feel like there's a vibrant community. I see it in our school. Our whole arts program was cut, and it's all moms and grandmothers and fathers that teach art there. We volunteer our time because we really believe in art for children. So this is a great community that's incredibly supportive of arts on all levels. So I encourage you to continue to follow this dream. And thank you for being here and helping us and Clint and all the Arts Commission. Thank you.
The next person I'd like to bring the microphone to is Mark, and Mark represents an incredible art space. I'll have him tell you about it.
Good evening, everyone. And thank you for the invitation. My name is Mark Chedwick. I represent Second Story Repertoire. Very happy that we're still here. We're still kicking. Still open our doors, and I feel like I'm still brand new to the community. I'm still trying to learn what resources are available here, and when I say resources, mostly I'm talking about the people and the vision that they have and the things that they want to accomplish. Within my short tenure at Second Story, we've been able to partner with several musicians to perform in our space during our dark nights. Dark night comment, yeah. We also have had several teachers of music come in and perform in our space with the recitals that they do. It's a small venue. We have 86 seats, and it's really a very good size for people who are looking to present to a group who don't necessarily have a 600-person following that they need to comedy for their presentation. It was funny, I actually was a website designer for 4 years, and I had this urge to create something in the real world. And so as part of my job, I'm also the technical director and the scene designer, set painter. Covered with paint tonight. We've been building for our show, which opens tomorrow, Princess and the Pea. Hope to see some of you there. Got to do the plug. Right. And then just a special thanks to Clint, who I think is doing a great job of bringing people together. And in our conversations I've had with Joshua already, just very excited about the future of the arts in Redmond. And we definitely have an open door. We're over at the town center 1 to 5, Tuesday through Saturday. We're actually over there about 90 hours a week, trying to keep the doors open and keep the money flowing so that we can maintain the facility. So please come, stop by. We'd love to see all of you.
Round of applause for Mark.
Hi. I do so much better at the teen center than with adults. I work at the Old Firehouse Teen Center, so I'm lucky enough to work for the city of Redmond, which is wonderful. Art has always been a passion. Clint and Sarah let me do an art show. I've never thought of myself as an artist. I think of myself as a crafter. But it's all part of the same community. And I just want to talk a little bit about what the city has right now for kids, you know, not little ones, for that older age. We have an amazing music studio, an amazing music community. We do shows every Friday night, which is all youth-led. So there's always those opportunities. I run an open mic that Clint helped start up, which was super fun. I have done an annual arts gallery where we shut down the whole place and it turned it into an art facility and gallery showing, and we combine adults and teens so they can come together and talk about what they're creating, what inspires them, and where they can go in the future. So there are millions of opportunities for youth and adult volunteers. If you guys want to come in and give back and inspire younger kids and be inspired. They inspire me every day. Yesterday I was sitting down and we were painting, and a girl who hardly ever talks to me, as much as I try, was inspired by a project that we were doing. And I saw this beautiful stuff coming out, these designs, and we were talking about colors and what she wanted to do. And all of a sudden, you know, she usually goes to the other teen centers in the area. And she said, you know what I love about the teen center here in Redmond? And I said, what? And she says, you guys are passionate about what you do. You care about what we're producing, and you care about the colors that we're picking and where we're going to go with it next. And it's not just a fill-in arts and craft project to keep me busy, but you love what I'm doing and you love what you're doing. And I look around this building and it's full of art from everyone. And I looked around the room and it was, you know, something that someone had sketched out. I had slapped on a wall last week because I loved it. And there's a graffiti wall, and the posters that are created for the show venues are created by the kids. And so every aspect of that building is art. And yeah. So if I have flyers and things, I'm going to be around all night. So if you guys have questions or want contact information or want to help evolve where we're going, I'm here.
Thanks, Sam. It's been an incredible source of light for the teens here in town for a while. I'm going to pass over here first and then we'll go to Sina.
Hi, I'm super excited to be here tonight because I found out why I'm here, and that's what everybody's saying. So my name is Charmin, and I'm the founder of Orange Blossom Society, which is a space that glad you haven't heard of it. It's a space that inspires me every day to bring arts to the community and to build relationships and support parents, and I would love to share that with everybody. That's my intent, to share that with everyone. So I have space. You need space, and I have space. So anybody who wants to collaborate with me, partner, come by, meet up. I love to brainstorm, foster new ideas, and share the beautiful space that we have. So, thank you.
Talata, sorry. Hi everyone. My name is Lata Samamurthy, and I was on the Arts Commission for a couple of terms. And now, of course, my husband is there on the commission, and I'm formally trained in Indian music and dance. And I also write and direct plays. I've done a lot of kids programs too. My vision for this arts and this community is basically, as most of you said, we need a performance center and a happening place. And I would like to say hats off to Clint to begin that. I always think this as crossroads in Redmond. It's a very happening place. You just come here, you have open mic, you just listen to different talented artists and the drum cycle they play. And every Sunday she here was doing that. And I would like to thank Clint for that and creating such a wonderful artistic scenario here. And I think most of you would have heard about the Indian festival that's happening in the city of Redmond, Ananda Mela. So I'm the artistic director for that. And we just had the vision when I was on the Arts Commission to have such wonderful cultural festivals right here in Redmond instead of going all the way to Seattle. And yeah, our dreams are coming true. I would like to thank our mayor for all the help and encouragement he's giving us on this. And this festival is getting bigger and bigger every year. And this year they have already given us the dates. It is on July 27th, 28th and 29th. And it is basically free for the community. Please all of you come with your friends, family, and enjoy this festival. Just enjoy all the food, the scenario, and the events, the performances. And I plan to bring fantastic performers and groups from India, and it's all for free for the community. And my vision, the other vision is to have such more cultural festivals that's happening right in Redmond. And I'm very, I have to say that I'm very proud of the Arts Commission and our present administrator Joshua, and he's such a great guy and he has a lot of ideas and he's so vibrant and energetic, and I say hats off to him, and thank you once again for giving me this opportunity to share my thoughts and dreams. Thank you very much.
Good evening. My name is Mark Stern. I'm the founder of Big Picture. And thank you. I'm here because very recently I decided that we wanted to take Big Picture in another direction. We like what we're doing, but we want to bring a little depth to what we're doing. So I decided to produce a live multimedia performance festival that we're working on. And I hired an executive producer, so I was very excited because I've never hired an executive producer before. And I've been talking to different people from For Culture and the Annex Theater who've been helping me put this together with my vision. And then I heard there was this meeting tonight and Joshua was nice enough to tell me about it. So I just wanted to say that right now our vision at Big Picture is to produce more live shows, a performance festival in the disciplines of multimedia, film, dance, variety, comedy, politics, monologues. So we're working on that, and we're definitely going to be looking for artists in the mediums of performance and variety. And then my role is to produce the show, and my executive producer will hopefully do all the hard work. But I just wanted you to know looking to do this, so if there's somebody who's interested or has another vision about what we're doing, I'd love to hear about it. Thank you.
Who are artists or performers? Show hands to who are the performers here tonight. Keep your hands up. These are some of the people to check out, like they're the finest in the neighborhood. Yeah. Josh over here, a couple of the finest performers. Go for it, Chris.
Hi, I'm Christopher Bingham, and I have a band called Bone Poets Orchestra with my wife. We kind of work on 2 different levels. We have we're a 5-piece when we have our string trio, and an 8-piece when we have the rhythm section. Everything we've done has been outside of the traditional structures. We haven't done clubs, bars at all. So all of our shows are either house concerts or rented halls. The main thing I'd love to see happen in the world right now would be a plethora of 200-seat rooms. Because I can't. I'd say you're either a 100-seat room or you're a 500-seat room or a 400-seat room, and it'd be nice to be able to find one where I could grow my audience a little bit more, but I know I can't fill a 400-seater. So, Bone Poets Orchestra used to be called Gaia Consort. Our focus is in making music that celebrates the natural world, but people basically perceive it as psychedelic spring rock. I've got CDs I hand out, cards I hand out. If you're interested in what we do, just tap me on the shoulder or give me a CD.
Thank you, Chris. Incredible band. And myself will be performing here the first Friday of December, so come check out that show. Yeah, do we have another person over there? Yeah, James.
Hi, I'm James, and I'm a former Microsoft tech guy, but now into art, photographer, curation of a couple of different projects and stuff. Anyway, what I wanted to advocate here is I seriously think we need to clone this place. Okay? This is just an amazing place, it's an amazing venue. It is the intersection of everything that makes Redmond really awesome. It is people coming in for coffee. It is the serendipity of those people running into somebody else, somebody working on a play, sitting over there on their computer, of a performance going on here live, of seeing a poster for a meeting. That's the reason I'm here tonight. I went to pick up, get coffee here 3 days ago. Oh look, there's a meeting on the arts Thursday night. I gotta be there. If I hadn't, if it had been on the web somewhere or anything like that, unless somebody told me, I probably would have missed it. We absolutely need those kind of specific spaces. My gosh, we do performances and things like that. You need that space, but there's, as a photographer, I've shown a couple different places in West Seattle and Bellevue, but there's not a lot of places for me to show out here in Redmond. And so, but it's in places like this, like that wall right there. Like this entire space is just a sweet combination of everything, of the people, of the artists, of patrons of the arts, of an audience, and people who aren't necessarily coming for one night to see one show, but it's just it is just part of your daily life. And that's one of the things that I think there are a few other parts of Seattle and a few other cities in the world that do that. As somebody mentioned at the beginning there, that arts is infused with everything we do, whether it's the chair or the shoes, but then there should be this ability to infuse other kinds of art, music, performance, open mic, paintings, photography, whatever, into daily life. I mean, doesn't every store in Redmond have a wall of this space that they could do an art wall? Couldn't we do like an art walk here in Redmond? Redmond is becoming, I've lived here for 20 years, love it here. That perfect sweet spot between 20 miles, or 20 minutes to the mountains, 20 minutes to SeaTac, and 20 minutes to downtown Seattle. But Redmond, as it's becoming this urban kind of archipelago, this urban center, as we're starting to get density, as we're starting to get kind of more people just hanging around, we need that culture. We need space, shared spaces for art, for culture, for everything, and not just in performance venues and stuff like that. Although, for example, a Second Star Repertory, where my wife plays, I love the fact that it's just in the middle of Redmond Town Center. You see it when you're walking by, going to the stores and stuff like that. It's just part of your daily life, like Crossroads. This is a crossroads as a community. and having art be a part of that, I think it's amazing. So if we could clone this place, or places like this, it doesn't mean just like SoulFood, but you know, just places like this where everything's going on, you've got that great vibe and that energy. If we could have more of those places, and preferably walkable, I mean.
That's the thing is,
yeah.
SoulFood is one venue in this town, and there's a few venues in this town, but when it starts, and tonight we're finding that there's even more that are starting. The city doesn't need an arts center, maybe that it just needs a...
It needs an art network.
An art network, which is...
All walkable, all, you know, and with those connections. Like I didn't, you know, I drive by, I'm sorry, not Sunflower, Orange Blossom. Yeah, I drive by there all the time. I haven't had a chance to stop by, but it's right there. It's awesome to know that it's, you know, that you're doing that kind of stuff, that there's a space. I'm going to come talk to you afterwards about maybe volunteering. Do you guys need, you know, somebody teach photography classes to teens and stuff like that? We just had those kind of connections, not just, you know, the art hanging on the wall, but the people involved and everything is what we need. And if a center, you know, maybe part of that, that'd be great, because like you said, there are some venues where you do need 200, 300 seats to do some cool stuff. Although the person who suggested that shared space, you know, where artists could work, people could come in, where it's a living thing. It's not just you know, subdivide a bunch of lofts where people are doing their private stuff, or where it's open. I've been to a few different cities that have that kind of thing. It's another awesome, vibrant, you know, central hub where people can go and experience it, both from the creative, from all aspects of the creative side.
Thank you, James.
My random thoughts. Thanks.
Round of applause for James.
Just listening in a room, I didn't really know what to expect coming here tonight, but I found myself kind of struck by how connected we all are. I am kind of on the other side of the arts. I'm more of a fan than anything. And 4 years ago, in a little back bedroom on Education Hill, I started an internet radio show with my best friend called The Bone Bat Show, which features independent music. And I don't know Sam, but we featured interviewed a guy named Coffin Pop, who was on the show, and I went and saw him play at the Old Redmond Firehouse, and it was freaking awesome. And I have another show that I do called The Heavy Half Hour, which featured a guy who's been a longtime metal guitarist named Devin Townsend, who I came and saw here. My daughter is in CC's choir. We're also connected. I feel so lucky to live here. Mark Stern, who spoke a few minutes ago, we hosted the Moab Film Festival for the first time a year ago at the Big Picture Theater, and we're working on the second volume of that now as we speak. And so this is just such a energetic, cool place to live with all these opportunities. I want to say, keep it up, keep up the great work, and keep up doing this great art for us fans to give us something to appreciate.
Director of the newly formed Redmond Chorale, which is an adult community choir. We just started our second year. We're rehearsing for our 4th concert. We are semi-auditioned. I have flyers. If you'd like more information, I can give you that. And so we're also formed as a dual, with a dual purpose, which we feel is really important for community connection. So we strive for artistic excellence, but also community service. So also in part, we are channeling all our financial resources back into the needs of the community. Our Christmas concert season is benefiting a cause called Congregations for the Homeless, which directly benefits East Side men that are homeless on the East Side. They have something like a 97% success rate. My point is that we feel artistically this is important as well, because so often the arts are seen as extraneous. We are the pond which resources are dumped into, and they stop there. We need money, we need help, we need places, we need stuff. But we can be more like a river, and so this is a challenge in one part that the resources don't need to stop with the arts, but we can send them back through the community after we use them. So a challenge to do that. And also a related thing too, I'm thinking about city and thinking about money, which we needed so badly when we started up. And we needed like $25 here, $10 there, and so I went and started asking for money. And everybody said no, because they thought I wanted like thousands of dollars of startup money. And so I was thinking about how we fit into with the river resources concept. We want to support our community. We want to support you. We want to be a part in there, you know, donated, Redmond Corral, friends, $25 from us to you. And we want to have you on our program as well. $25 from the city. Great, the city supports us. And but like, how can we connect in that way? How can we share a little bit of resources in a grassroots sort of way? Oh, also, we're starting a children's choir in January. So I have a flyer, whatever it is. So, thank you.
Thank you. Who is an incredible singer-songwriter. She has touched the hearts of us here many times. She's won our showcase performance from our open mic, and she's won a lot of other awards musically. I'd like to introduce you to Soul.
Yeah. Thank you very much. My name is Soul Nora, and I am a singer-songwriter with Asperger's syndrome and Tourette's, and I'm in the process of trying to put together a documentary about music and pervasive developmental disorders. So it's nice to see a group of people that like to collaborate and things like that. I was actually just telling Clint that I got an idea tonight that I would like to try to have a workshop here for adults and children with pervasive developmental disorders to facilitate a place that they can musically express themselves or artistically in any way express themselves, because sometimes the only way that we can communicate. This is my service dog, little Lola Iola Peabody, and that is definitely her personality. But I think that raising awareness of people with autism and other pervasive developmental disorders in an environment like this where they can feel at home would be very good, and the community is very strong out here for it. So I'd like to thank Clint for giving a place that we're able to do that, and for allowing me so thank you, Clint.
Thank you, sister. Sure.
Hi, my name's Chris Edwards. I've been living here a couple of years now, and I've been an artist since the day I was born. I feel that art is very, very important. It is communication. It is all forms of communication, whether it's through voice, through writing, through touch, where sculpture is involved, through just interacting with other people and how you treat other people and how they treat you. For instance, like if I were to say the word love, would that communicate everything there is about love? What if I were to give you a hug? Would that communicate everything? You could write the word and you could see it. Would that communicate everything about it? I could do a sculpture of a heart, you know, with wings. You could go and touch it. Would that communicate everything? I think it's a mixture of all of these things together that really expresses concepts and thoughts and things that can change the world and change people's lives. It is everything about us and everything that we do. And I think it's important, and I'm happy for SoulFood here, giving us a place to put things and perform. And places like Orange Blossom that I just found out about tonight, and the Firehouse, and all these great things we have for children. And I think it's great. And I do agree that we probably should have more spaces like this and more of a network and stronger meetings, and maybe word of mouth. Maybe we should be spreading and talking to each other out there in the community.
I hear that's how they used to do it before Facebook.
Don't give up on Facebook, though. I heard about it from Facebook. So, I was thinking earlier tonight when they were talking about the video games and movies and digital art, and they brought up maybe making a sculpture for Redmond and everything. And I think that if you do that, bringing it back to communication and doing something that we could do in our times, it should incorporate all 5 senses. So, and I think that it should be moving and changing, and that we should still have some of the digital aspect as well, have maybe projections onto the sculptures, and then people should be able to move around and be inside the sculpture possibly.
Like guitar players.
Yeah, guitar players, you know, that would be cool, like on certain festivals and things like that, you have guitar players in certain areas, dancers, stuff like that. You could even have plants that give off certain smells and produce certain feelings. It could also be like a game, like if you go through one area to another and you have to figure out codes and things like that through it. And it would also have to say something about Redmond and about here. And if you do start on something like that, please, 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 please get me involved. I'm Crystal Edwards.
Thank you. I'd like to introduce the next person here is the better half of me, and part of SoulFood that makes sure that when we have a concert at 8 o'clock that Friday night, and it actually happens at 8 o'clock, and that it gets out on Facebook. Please welcome Sarah here.
I'm excited to see all of you. It's nice, I recognize a lot of people just having done different events here and getting a chance to collaborate with different events. One of the things I did want to say is if you look around, this is an incredible force, right? So as an artist, sometimes culturally we don't really necessarily think of an artist as somebody, well, they can artistically say what their point of view is, but they don't necessarily put a lot of weight in the change that they can make. So what I would like to encourage you as not only somebody who's been a social activist for a very long time, but as a venue owner and as a store owner and a merchant, it's your voices. When you go up to any store in Redmond and say, do you have something local? Do you have local art? Do you have local food? This is the way that we can help change Redmond into being that cultural center from the ground up by supporting local, by supporting those people who might not necessarily have a venue other ways. So please remember you're a force to be reckoned with, and use your voice, use your money, use your choices wisely.
I'd like to piggyback off of that. My name is Kristen Thompson. I'm a graphic designer. I've worked with the city of Redmond for several years now, so I see a lot of city faces. I'd just like to piggyback off of that and say that I am a benefactor of a community that was arts aware. I grew up in Chapel Hill, North Carolina, which was like the cool arts epicenter of North Carolina. And I mean, it even changed me so that I was wearing 2 different colored socks in 3rd grade. That was so artsy. But it makes an impact, and it really saddens me to hear, you know, that schools are losing their art funding because it does have an impact on people. And I just like to just echo that, that we need to use this as a force for change. We need to be making those types of impacts on not only children, but teens and adults. It just blew my mind. It's my husband, Dave, and he grew up in a private school that didn't have art. And so when I met him and took him to an art museum, and was able to explain to him colors and how they affect you. And then we went to Italy, and oh my gosh, how do you go through the Uffizi and not describe every single awesome painting that's in there to someone who had no idea? And so but now he knows now. Because he's had an art education, and he's benefited from the education that arts within our community. So just thank you to the Redmond Arts Commission for being here and for doing things like this and for opening it up for other artists to share. It's such an important part, and I think communities who don't have that really miss out. So thank you.
Thank you. I'd like to introduce the next person here. And for the artists out there that are on your way to these venues that we're talking about, but you don't have a set of guitar strings, or you don't even have a guitar, our local music store that helps fund the, to help put instruments in the hands of the population here, to change our strings, to keep strings on our guitars, and also leading the new organization, the Redmond Open Mic Mafia. Here's Dave Goldberg.
Well, hi, I'm Dave, and I'm an artsaholic.
Hi, Dave!
My addiction is an artaholic, and I was a young child here in Redmond, and kind of progressed my way into being the manager of Pacific Music here in town, right across the street. We've been teaching in Redmond for going on our 25th year this year, so that is just amazing how many students over the years we've taught. Probably about 250 to 300 students per week. Everything from guitar, piano, voice, sitar, mandolin, ukulele, just to name a few. Just recently we had our student showcase here at SoulFood last Sunday, and we just had a fantastic turnout. Watching the budding musicians of this community grow, and we're just happy to provide lessons for kids in the area. Our vision too in the future is to work with the community on an arts and music festival from here down to City Hall, and have a couple different stages, wandering musicians, jugglers, buskers on the street, people painting, and just a big vibrant music festival. I was involved with one in Tempe, Arizona, called the Tempe Music Festival for about 10 years. And it just exploded and grew every year, and I'm just excited to make something like that happen here.
Wonderful. There you go.
Thanks, Clint.
Yeah.
My wife and I actually learned about Soul Foods when we came in here, and the kids would kid us about having our corporate meeting here. We were forced into retirement when Group Health, after 27 some years, closed their hospital. And we'd already decided we'd try and figure out what to do. And all I ever wanted to be was an artist. I was drafted out of college when I was an art major. Wasn't the best of students, but I was a damn good art major. I ended up in Vietnam and traveled a lot, come around full circle. My kids now are doing the teaching in the schools. We get invited periodically to do tie-dyeing, some of that old making chokers like the Lakota Sioux do. But bottom line, this place gave us, we were ready to kill each other. Literally. We sat over about where Clint is and had a cup of coffee and decided that our motto and our corporate, we incorporated it that day. And everybody was kind, allowing us to use the sound system and overhead projector when the two of us had come in for coffee. But bottom line is, we went back to school. We graduated from Bellevue College as graphics designers. I loved the idea of what the computer would do, but the cool part was, I learned more about the computer. My wife was already a computer nut. She now is a maniac when it comes to painting and drawing. She always swore she never could. We're in the process of trying to build a dome. We're getting close. I've got a dear friend here that just is that far from finishing the oak floor upstairs. Literally, one piece that big. But that's what we'd like to open our doors for, is to teach classes, have people come in and teach. You know, we both love music. I need to get back to it, but you know, I'm not a genius when it comes to art. I've done a little bit of everything, trying to feed my family over the years. I remember we started at Farmer's Market over here, and we couldn't make a dime. I never made my entrance fees. But my daughter and my son and I sat there and made jewelry and just had a hell of a good time. Gave away a lot of stuff, but never made any money. It's starting to evolve and it's coming around. That circle's coming around again. And I really want to thank Soul Foods, and I want to see Redmond start communicating. I've been on a couple of boards of different art groups over the years. You know, I can remember University of Washington Street Fair. I've seen things here that we need to get back to, like the Heritage Festival. There were some cool artists there. Get rid of worrying about money. Money is there if we just do some hustling.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. Money is there if we just do some hustle.
Just a mere hustle.
Some love for Kirk here. I'd like to introduce you to one of the loudest artists in the city of Redmond. A detailed artist with a chainsaw. If you know our French Quarter here of Redmond, Avondale. And off the corner of 116th, the chainsaw carver. Please welcome Wood Carver to the mic.
I am overwhelmed at this. It's really shocking to me. I've been an artist for so many years, I don't even count anymore. But like others, I stopped getting in trouble when I started carving. It's been real good for me. And as community, I'm here to basically say thank you. I've been here for a long time, and I love it here. I've been in a lot of places. Vietnam gave me the strength to be an artist in this world. But we have a park over here that Mr. Carter created a spiritual place in that is very strong. This whole valley is very strong spiritually. And I would like to see that come back to life and be worked by people.
Where? The Dudley Carter Park, which is just on the other, just a few blocks away on the other side of.
There was a battle on what to do with it, and it's still there, yes. Thank God.
Yep, that's right, an old longhouse that's there, and holds a spiritual, sacred part of Redmond.
Yeah, and that's kind of what we're bringing in here is spirit. I've heard the word magic, and I've heard love, and a lot of, I had to speak one time at a totem pole raising, and all I could, in the end, I looked out and there's so many people, all I could say, it's love, that's all it is. And so that's what we're bringing is some art into this area. And this area is capable, it's set up just right for this. This is really great. I applaud everybody for being here. And thank you for Sarah and the city for setting this up. And I've seen a lot of artists in here. I didn't recognize Home Boat without his gear on. Sorry, dude.
That's great. Let's show some love for Wood Carver here.
Hi, it's good to see everyone again. My name is Laura Hirsch, and I'm an outdoor educator, but I'm taking a break. I'm actually up from Evergreen. I'm in an art and culture class right now, and education and humanities class. I left my community up here, well, multiple ones, there's a lot, and it's beautiful. This is one of them. There's a bit of a sacred question as to how to integrate the arts and nature, experiential education, and bring the soul back into learning. There are a lot, I was in the public education system growing up as well, and had a taste of what really brings learning to life. And the arts is one of those aspects. And I've been working with some kids down in a homeless shelter down in Olympia. And one's in a photography class, and she absolutely abhors it because she has to do these assignments in boxes. And I just asked her, I'm like, can you just go out and take photographs for fun? And she's from Guam too, so there's this multicultural barrier as well. And I would just, if I could say something, I would encourage those of you who are parents or within the public education system or have connections with the schools and the communities to speak up and use your voices in a compassionate way to show well, I'm sure the teachers actually would love more creative time, but to show that this is important. And I think that the more voices are heard, the more chance there is that we can create that for our children, because it's great when there's community centers, but not all parents know to utilize these things. And I'd really love to see the awareness everywhere in this community to be risen as far as what resources are out there and how to connect with them. And also with nature. I can't tell you the amount of inspiration I've gotten from just being out in nature. And my teacher, Hirsch Gilmont, right now, had us draw leaves from your life source. And so that just changed, that didn't change how I drew, but it put me back into that place where I used to draw from, which was missing. So that's what I'd like to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Laura.
Okay, first of all, yes, I am British. I'm from I get that cleared up before people start looking at me and thinking, what am I saying? My name is Shima. I moved from London here about 5 years ago. I would consider myself, in comparison to all these other wonderful artists, very young artists who are beginning to establish herself. I'm reaching out to this community that I wasn't even aware that is here and available to me. So this is really exciting for a lot of us. There's a lot of people here who I think, oh my God, I think, you'd probably be in People magazine as far as I'm concerned. You're amazing. In terms of the vision, so if I'm going from a community perspective, in terms of a vision of a place where we could share and manipulate ideas and encourage inspiration and to reach out to all areas of the community, I mean from grown up, young, experienced, unexperienced, I would like to go back to a park and to create maybe a pergola type area where it's open and you are literally creating an open space and you're inviting people in. So in terms of what I've collected so far from the love and the energy around in here, that's what I see as a place where you can encourage the young, the old, to speak, to sing, to do whatever you want, but it needs to be an open space, somewhat with probably a roof, because we're in Seattle. We're not as well, not dissimilar from London, but that's what I've kind of gathered and pulled together for you guys.
Thank you very much.
Hi, my name is Sue Burris. My granddaughter is in Cece's choir as well. I'm an art docent at Horace Mann School, and I teach natural science illustration at the University of Washington Extension Program. And that connection, actually, of the arts and natural spaces and natural things, all of the different visual arts start with a drawing, and even the digital ones. And so I think it would be a wonderful thing, as many people have suggested, to have a space where there could be studio and classes and things like that be able to happen. I'm also a weaver with no room to set up my loom. Yes. So please, anybody's got space, let me know.
Thank you. I'd like to introduce is Max. Where did Max go? Oh, that's so funny, he's stage fright. Oh, there he is. Come on back, Max. Max is a local singer, songwriter, newly signed to a label and about to put out his first album. Let's welcome Max.
Thanks, guys. So I just wanted to say thank you to Redmond, because I grew up in Spokane, which had no music whatsoever, and then when we moved to Spanish, Redmond seemed like the coolest place on the earth, on the planet, and it is. So I totally learned so much from SoulFood and from the Firehouse, and I got a lot of support from a lot of people here. It's really heartening to see a lot of people coming out to support that. So yeah, thank you.
Over there? I over here. Sure.
Hi, I want to thank Jessica from Gala and Marianne from the Arts
Commission and the City of Redmond for inviting me out tonight. I'm one of your neighbors. I live in Sammamish, and my name is Suzanne Tidwell. I'm a fiber artist, and I was asked to share my vision of art in Redmond, and I am very excited to visualize some stripes and brightly colored trees coming to Sammamish, or coming to Redmond very soon. And I'm just very enthusiastic about this process. It's going to be starting in the end of February, early March, and with Jessica's help, we're going to invite the community to help wrap some of the trees in Anderson Park. Woo! Hi, I'm Alice Bellman. I'm a writer and art educator. I've lived in Redmond for almost 20 years. Former board member and current associate of the Redmond Association of Spoken Word, which has been around since 1996 and incorporated since 1997, so I know Clint before he was Clint. Our Clint. And currently, what is that thing? Currently, the project that I'm currently working on is a series of workshops for teens that are being sponsored by RASP, by the Redmond Arts Commission, their gracious funding and enthusiasm, Friends of the Redmond Library, and the Old Firehouse. What I want from you is support for our youth. We are having an open mic and island style slam on the 19th, and we really need audience, and we need mentors, and we need people to come out and take a risk and demonstrate that that's part of a vibrant, adult, youthful outlook. We would love to have you come out. We've got some flyers, and we're happy to talk about it. What I'd like to see better is more opportunities for all-age venues and collaboration between generations. Even if we're not bringing up artists, we're bringing up consumers and valuers of art. And that's really bad. Thank you. On the 19th, if you want to participate in the slam, which I highly encourage, you should sign up at 6 p.m. and there are cash prizes.
That's great.
Can I just add to that?
Is this thing on?
Sure.
Hi, my name is Laura Lee Bennett, and I'm working with the lady who just spoke, Allison Olinger. We are partners in crime. We call each other Nadine, and someday we're going to take over the world. Anyway, I'm on the board of directors for the Redmond Association of Spoken Word, and we've been working with the Arts Commission and the Firehouse, this teen workshop series. We just finished our 5th class this past week, and I wanted to echo what Allison was saying about encouraging our youth. We've had a small showing, but it's been a very lively showing with these kids. And when I was growing up, I always thought that writers lived in garrets and wrote, by themselves. But these classes were boisterous and fun, and there is some talent out there. And we just need to get some more kids coming to the Teen Center. It's a great venue. So just want to let you know. The 19th, open mic night. Be there or be square. Thank you.
I'm just going to add to that.
Yeah. Bring her up.
No, that's good. I feel comfortable at this level.
Stand up, Sam. Please, stand up.
Oh, okay.
Can't see ya.
Sorry.
There you go. Thank you.
So, the writing workshop has been going wonderful. I wanted to add that, the 19th is a great night to come check out your local teen center. Even though you're not a teen, it's your center. It's all of ours. It's important. It's going to be a huge night for us. We collaborate every year with Folk Life. Folk Life is coming down. It's a big open mic. So we're going to have open mic artists going on all night long. So from 6 o'clock, I believe you guys start, right? And then we lead all the way into 8 o'clock, going on to 10 o'clock with artists that have been playing at the Teen Center. And it's free. Come on by, see what we're doing, because it really is amazing. It's going to be a full house, so I'm really excited.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, I just want to add one more thing while I have a chance. So May is when I'm going to do my adult and teen gallery show. It's hard to find adult artists when your community, my community, is teens. Teens don't want to tell their parents what they're doing and what's going on. So if you are interested in participating, putting your artwork, please let me know. And I would love help building this and making it bigger and better every year so that we can show the city, hey, we need a venue. We had 200, 300, 400 people come through in a weekend. There's a need, not just for the artists, but the community. And I think we can start on that base. I've got the space to hold it. Let's start and show what we can do.
Our Craig Larson over here tonight, someone who also went to the Teen Center, and now look at him now. You know? Please welcome Craig Larson to the mic.
The opinions expressed are not the opinions of SoulFood or the establishment. This is solely Craig Larson. So I was born in Redmond 1984 and seen a lot of changes. I used to play in the grass field where QFC is. Hot air balloons used to land there. Some of us might remember it. So my dad and I have had a photography business here for the last 20 years. Craig Larson Photography, we might have taken some of your kids' senior photos, maybe a wedding. And I want to reiterate a couple topics that have all been brought up. One, a community space, larger one, maybe a nice field, good concert hall, larger area. It seems like all those are combining into one little area that we can all think and see it. We got 2 fields right there. One fresh one right next to the subway, yada yada yada. And Sarah's, buy local. We're all here because you are here. You have so much power in your individualness that you came together as artists, and pat yourself on the back for that. And adding to that, we should change they should do this to I will do this. The arts community has an openness, they're standing with us. And I know they give out grants for artists. The city wants to hear you. That's why we're here.
So I think we've only begun to just scratch the surface tonight. There's so many great ideas, and the sharing that's going on. What I'm hearing is that we need to have some type of maybe online venue for the community to share open mic calls, calls for volunteers, places where we can post events in the community, a central location where we can all go and share some great ideas, as well as needs for volunteers and ways to get involved to share the love.
Yeah, thank you.
My name is Decker Geddes. Oh, wow, I sound weirder with it. My name is Decker Geddes. I'm a student at DigiPen. I'm a Bachelor of Fine Arts in Production Animation. First of all, I just want to say thanks to the City of Redmond. There's a lot of really rad stuff coming from another completely different world than Salt Lake. It's super refreshing to see this kind of support for the art community. This might not be so popular, but the graffiti wall is brilliant. Woo! Awesome. Love to see support for kids to be able to do that legally and be able to kind of get a feel for what it's like, which is awesome. And to really reiterate the points of more community space, more galleries, and there's a huge amount, there's a very large resource of fresh artists coming into my school every year, and there's a ton of them graduating with a lot of great skills, which is super cool, but a lot of them don't know or don't have any place to show or any place to kind of build up that part of their portfolio. And so that's just something that I like to bring to everybody's attention. There's a lot of us just floating around. So if you need us, oh, we're definitely there. So thanks.
Was thought up by one of the planning people at the city. That was came from in-house idea.
Hello? Okay. I'm Sue Tinney, and I'm an artist. I've had my stuff on this wall, and it was amazing. I'm also in the band, Bone Voice Orchestra. But what I wanted to say is I really want to encourage you guys to do what you're doing, which is if something isn't working, if the school isn't giving you the program that you need, make one. And putting together projects that are participatory, because what art is it's our voice. This is how we can, like she was saying, we can tell people about the big ideas and draw pictures that can draw people in, and it's so pretty and yummy, and they get in there and then they suddenly start thinking, and it changes their minds. And it's powerful. It's really powerful, and it's really important to put that in the hands of our children. And I just think it's awesome that you guys are doing this, and you should keep doing it and support each other, you know, and we all should. We are from a little outside of Redmond and come into town to perform. And the other thing is you as Redmond support us as artists in such an amazing way. We've been performing in the Seattle area for way too many years, and for a long time. And when we come to Redmond, people show up. And there's just a level of support that is beyond what you get from a lot of the communities, because there's mindfulness kind of in this soul food corridor, but it's also happening outside of that in Redmond. And that's just really valuable. We need that in our world. Again, the participatory aspect of art, people with their hands on and in it, is so much more alive than what a lot of the children are getting in their lives in the world today.
Here, here.
Amen.
I would like to introduce a producer. I'd like to introduce someone who goes around from town to town, putting on shows with his band. And we have a long relationship of putting on shows here in Redmond. Welcome Kay to the mic.
I'm Kay Wiley. I have been doing a couple of show production things. Mostly what I do is I represent a collective of nationally touring independent musicians. I have branched out a little bit to beyond just musicians to other kinds of artists, makers, performance artists, jugglers. Generally call that the type of artist I work with, a strawler. If you want to know what a strawler is, come and talk to me later. It's too long to explain on the microphone. So I am really quite fond of Redmond and Soul Food. I've moved my office here. Of all the places that I've worked with around the country, I decided to choose Redmond as my base of operations. Just the community of people. This is one of my favorite venues in the country for this particular kind of music. I am really excited to see some of the things that are going on tonight. I really like some of the ideas. I'm especially fond of the idea of networking, pulling together the minds and the people and the power and the time and the hands that you have in this community because you have the shared interests, making something bigger than what you have because you are all bigger than you really are, or bigger than you think you are. This seems like the perfect place to build that network because not everybody's on Facebook, not everybody's on the computer. There needs to be a computer facet to it because we are all most of us here are computer savvy, but there needs to be a physical presence. Soul Food, of course, seems like the perfect place for that to be. How, of course, that gets implemented is something to be debated probably for many hours. But the network is the place to start. Knowing what is here, knowing who is here, knowing what we're interested in, deciding what the various projects are, and then, of course, prioritizing. The Arts Council are very, very nice people, and very nice to have met some of you guys. Yet another reason why I think that Redmond's going to be the place where I'm going to be doing most of my business. organizational things. I was going to say a whole bunch of things, but he already said them.
Sound like we already said them.
Yes. So everybody, keep doing what you're doing. Keep it up.
Thanks. Event networking, that's why we're here tonight. We're here tonight to, let's get two more people, and then we'll kind of wrap things up, but I want to get to your guys' voices. We'll do ladies first. All right, Miss Whitney Ballin, another singer-songwriter here.
My name is Whitney Ballin, and I was born in Redmond. I was born in Redmond, but I have lived here. What?
That's okay.
Sorry, down. Yeah, I was born in a hospital. We now have something like it, but yeah. So I grew up in Redmond and lived here my entire life, young 20 years, and in junior high I started attending the Firehouse, and it has extremely helped me grow, and for some reason, I don't know why, every single time I talk about the Firehouse and I talk about things that are going on there, I always say, oh yeah, we are having this thing at the Firehouse. We are doing this. Come over, we'll have this for you. And I realized that I began to say that because it's a community there, and I feel like I'm part of this. Automatically, I just say we. And I'm starting to do the same thing with SoulFood. And people always catch me on it, but it feels right now. And I guess I just wanted to say that I'm really happy to be able to be a part of the Firehouse and SoulFood in their art programs and their music programs, because I've used the things that I've learned with the program directors of the Firehouse and Clint here, all the resources that are available I've used and I've taken, and now I live in Seattle, and I have carried those things with me and applied them in a bigger context. So not everybody's gonna grow up and stay here, you know, we're gonna branch out, and we need to be able to have the skills to do that as an artist or a musician. And so the Firehouse and SoulFood has really helped me grow as a musician and artist, and I wouldn't have never been able to do that just with the art classes that I took in junior high or high school, or the really sad music class that we had. Sorry. But really the only way that we're going to be able to grow as musicians or artists is if we have a community around us. And so I'm really proud to say that I have put myself in one, and that it's so available to me here, because I know being a student at the University of Washington, so many people are coming from other areas and they have no, they don't even know what a teen center is. And I'm just like, are you serious? So I'm just grateful. So thank you for that, and I hope to see a lot more changes with Redmond, and even me being gone for like 6 months in Seattle, coming back and seeing that now we have a park in the middle of Redmond, that's really awesome. And I hope there's concerts there.
Hi everybody. Before I get started, I'd like to say that SoulFood has a physical Facebook, actually, and it's a little more local than the big internet one. It's over here, called the Community Table, and if you'd like to check that out, please do. And those of you that own businesses should look at that and maybe think about putting one of your own in there, because it's kind of a beautiful idea. Now, I'm Aaron. Clint introduced me. I guess I'm the California kid, you could say. I got up here in September. And the art that I represent, many people call or consider a dying art, and rightfully so. I'm a student of philosophy, and I'm on hiatus. before I get into my master's work. And one thing that I wanted to say to the Arts Commission is it may be a good idea, there's a lot of undertone of this, to get involved with education, however you can, and try to re-enliven art through the education system, because it's the second biggest place where people learn to communicate after family.
Thanks. And then a way to get together here to introduce this person I adopted.
Thank you, Clint. And I would like to introduce Redmond Skillset. Very proud to all of you. When I joined the commission, she was the arts administrator in the city of Redmond, and she has been with the city of Redmond for almost 25 years, and she was the one who started the Arts Commission. Please give her a big hand. I just request her to say a few words about the art scenario, whatever she wants to say. Thank you.
Hi everyone. Back in 1984, I talked to Mayor Marchioni, John's mom, about starting an arts commission. And in 1987, we were able to start the first meeting in October. And listening to all of you tonight, it was my vision to have this in Redmond. And I started working in Redmond in 1981, and it was a very different community back then. And so now it's so diverse, and there are so many more artists and so many more opportunities for everybody. And so I thank you all for your participation as artists, for your support of the arts, and Redmond a great community to live. And thank you for making my dream come true of making Redmond a vibrant community, and I look forward to seeing all the other wonderful things that you will be doing in the future.
First person to be brave enough to go to City Hall and say we need an arts commission. And thank you so much for starting this tonight. Thank you so much for coming in tonight. I'd like to leave you with a few things. I'd like to make sure that even if you didn't get a chance to speak tonight, this will be the first of many more. Josh, want to come up and end it with me? And a face to make sure that you know. Joshua, new arts coordinator. Also, if you did get a chance to come up and speak tonight, there's ways to sign up. Would you tell us just a little bit about signing up over there?
Sure. I don't know if all of you had an opportunity to introduce yourself to Marianne Johnson, our arts coordinator, but she's standing right now. She's waving her hand. So get to know her. And in front of her, she has some sign-up sheets. And I heard a lot of things tonight. One of the biggest things that I heard is that you all want to be connected to each other. And I think one of the great things about this community is that you pay people to help you do that. That's me, and that's Marianne right now. And so help us out by leaving your contact information with Marianne. That would be really helpful. Thank you.
Wicked witch of Issaquah pulled out her old broom, dusted off the cobwebs and spiders, and used it to fly on down to Redmond for the weekend cushion. Thought it might be time to do some freaking there. It's been so long since she didn't feel sad, not spending all her time making people feel bad. No more, not now. She's made up her mind. Put on that old dress, get herself looking real fine. All up in the club, drinking Hennessy. Oh my, what a mess. I might alright. Let your hair down and let your heart pound. Let the light in, let the light in. Let the light in, let the light in again. Showed up at the spot. Billy Witch walked in and said, "Show me what you got." Lion ran for cover, but the Tin Man didn't move, no. That's when the band started playing this groove, and all at once there's magic in the air. No one saw it coming, wasn't too clear. But the Tin Man said, "Don't know how to do this, baby. Maybe you could show me how." She said, "It's alright. Let your hair down and let your heart pound. Let the light in, let the light in. Again." So they danced in the dark on the floor. The world kept on spinning round like it's always done before. And the people in the club said they don't make a pretty pair. But the Tin Man and the Witch know they didn't care, 'cause love don't give a damn about what other people say. Does what it wants, and it's always been that way. That's the way it was, and the way it'll be again. Forever and ever and ever, amen. Alright. Let your hair down and let your heart pound. Let the light in, let the light in. Let the light in, let the light in. Let the light in, let the light in again. We are coming upon a very special time in town. There's a reason why we gathered tonight. There's a reason why we're going to walk away from this thinking that tonight something happened special. We are on the eve of the centennial of the city of Redmond. Redmond has been here in the year 2012 for 100 years. The Arts Commission has been around for, that year, is it 25 years? Next year, 25 years. And next year it'll be the 10-year anniversary of me hosting an open mic the first weekend of every month in this town. And so we're going to stay open for a little while longer so you guys can meet each other and connect with the people that sparks your interest. And make sure you sign up here, and make sure you talk to your neighbors and tell people that something special happened here tonight. Thank you.